Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about. In today's video, I just want to talk about this podcast episode that I listened to today, which I think completely blew me away, and I think it's probably one of a really good podcast episode that I just kept on taking notes over and over again. And it's this podcast episode with Jodie Cook, and I think she's basically an entrepreneur, and she wrote this book called, I'm gonna tell you the name because I have added it to my Audible wish list. It's called the 10-year career. So 10-year, like just 10 TEN year career, and basically she just talks about lots of things related to entrepreneurship and things like this. So the first one that I think really caught my attention was pretty early on in the episode. So it was on Ali Abdal's Deep Dive podcast. And so basically there was this thing that her dad told her like early on when she was just starting to become an entrepreneur. And basically he told her this with regards to the things that he was selling himself. And basically what he told her was this, that knowledge instills confidence. Confidence instills enthusiasm, and enthusiasm sells cars and fans, because that's what he was in the business of. But she was in the business of social marketing, basically. Social media marketing. So yeah. Also another thing that she talked about, I'm just gonna like reading through my notes and seeing what are the main points that stuck out to me, and like that I that I thought were noteworthy enough that I needed to take notes of them. And the second one is that basically entrepreneurship, that it's not clear at the start if you're doing the right thing, and that it only gets clear after you've been doing it for 10 years. So basically for any aspiring entrepreneurs or anyone who's starting something new, like you never know, like you never feel like at the beginning, and that's completely normal. The only time that is through hindsight bias, when things work out. But at the beginning there is no way for you to know, and so that feeling of uncertainty that you're feeling and like discomfort is supposed to be there, because it was there for all of the successful entrepreneurs, and they were feeling the same as you. And it's not that you're not cut out for this, it's that's just the way that you're supposed to feel when you're starting entrepreneurship. So that's the second thing. And the third thing was this idea of becoming an entrepreneur by osmosis. And basically she talked about the fact that both her parents were entrepreneurs, and that's how like basically she became an entrepreneur by osmosis, by spending time around her parents and like learning about entrepreneurship just by being there, and like learning about invoices and billing clients and things like this. And I think for me, the way that I'm learning about that, like my osmosis, is through books, reading books, and like reading about the stories of people, entrepreneurs, and like people that I admire, as well as these podcasts. So this is proof that like this is one of the ways that I get completely immersed in this world, and basically change my perspective is through reading and learning and like listening to podcasts. That's how basically like it's helping me become an entrepreneur by osmosis, by just making it like so that I basically how it works, how I think it works anyway, is that you hear about something so many times that it actually becomes normal, and you stop seeing them as like these weird things. And so since they become normal to you, you start just doing them because it's just what you do. And it becomes like just this sort of default behavior and default way of thinking that's shaped by people that you admire. And yeah, that's the kind of things that I like to have in my life, because that's the kind of person that I aspire to be. So that's one thing. And then there was this really interesting part where she talked about the fact that a lot of people are actually scared of success and not of failure. So basically, that leads to like some self-sabotaging behavior, and actually not doing the things that you actually know would work. And this is just something that hit really hard for me, because maybe there's like a script in my brain that, makes me feel like I'm not good enough, and that I don't deserve the success that I want. And basically, I've been talking like on this channel, especially, I think I've talked about it in the like one of the past few videos, like at least over the past week, is these self-sabotaging behaviors that kick in, and basically like that lead me to not doing the things that I know would work. So I know in my heart that this demystifying AI video has great potential, and this demystifying AI series has great potential, but in some sense, I mean, it's a bit weird to think about it like, oh, I'm afraid of success. Like, how full of yourself must you be to think that, first of all, you're gonna be successful and you know the way to success, and that you're afraid of success, that be the real reason that that you're not successful. Like, how, like, I don't know, how outrageous is that? But I think there is some truth there, because, like, I know that there are some behaviors that I know will get me closer to where I want to be. But yeah, I just need to overcome these self-sabotaging behaviors that, prevent me from doing the things that I know I should be doing, and working on the things that I know are important to me and that will have the biggest impact. And I guess it's like all about, like, she also talked about this, is that someone told her that entrepreneurship is a game of constant reframing. And so basically, like, reframing the current situation, uh, like whenever something goes wrong, when you reframe it into the big picture, basically you realize how little it matters. But also, when applied to this idea of self-sabotage and things like this, I guess I just need to find a way to reframe this success, that this potential success that I see in my head, in a way that's more helpful to me and that will get me to act, which I have not figured out how to do it yet, because I'm still to some extent stuck on that part. So I just thought this was an interesting thing to think about. And then there were some things that she talked about. So let me just, I'm not gonna list all of the things that that I noted down, but I'm just trying to find one thing that I think, yes, I think she talked about this. Like, basically, she felt like, she noticed that she felt that whenever someone told her that she can't do something, that's when she really got energized. And I think, like, I mean, probably you've seen it on this channel, is that whenever I have this crazy challenge, that's when I get lit up. And basically, she did, like, she found this out from a personality test that she did. And basically, in this personality test, it said motivated by the idea of succeeding against all odds. And I 100% think that this also applies to me, because if you just look back at my videos and at the time period when I was preparing for my applied science interviews, as well as, training for the half marathon in my first half marathon in 25 days, and then training for my second half marathon in about 30 days without having any cardio, like any running training in between. It's like I really get driven by this idea of succeeding against all odds. And I think that's when I'm the most like the happiest. That's why when I have a lot of stuff on my plate, I just get excited, because I know that most people would think, oh, there's no way you can do that. Like, who do you think you are that you think you can do this? And then that's when I get excited, because I know I can do it and I know that I would crush it. And it's just like brings me so much joy to just push my mental boundaries. And so, in order for that to happen, you need some bad stuff in your life to happen. So, like, someone to not believe in you, that pushes you to believe in yourself and like reinforce this belief in yourself that you can make it against all odds. Um, and like, I feel like I've had that more or less, like, I've reframed it in my head. Like, I have this person that I wanna that I wanna flick off. I mean, is that not flip off? And basically, that like whenever I think about the way that they treated me this year, it's like, oh, I really want to prove you wrong, and you're gonna see for not believing in me and all of this stuff. And I think it's helpful. Like, I guess sometimes it's helpful to have these stories, like, no matter the level of truth that's in these stories that are in your head, like, having an enemy is helpful, even if like the story is true, but maybe it's not, like, because life is nuanced. Like, uh, any story, like, if I say, oh, this person treated me badly and so they deserve this and this and this, that's just one side of the story. And basically, it serves me in some sense to have someone that I picture in my head as a like someone that I want to prove wrong, because I've had those sort of people like throughout my life. Like, whenever I felt like I've really like pushed myself and really went above and beyond and proved people wrong. Like, so basically, I remember distinctly, in high school, I wanted to prove like one teacher wrong from not believing that I'm a genius or whatever, for whatever stupid adolescent thoughts that I had. And so I did. And then when I was in my 2 years of studies in France, my first 2 years of studies in France, so les classes préparatoires, I wanted to prove to the people, to the teachers that did not believe in me, that I was gonna make it, and I made it into a school despite all of the odds, like, despite them not believing me, and like them, you know, explicitly believing that I was not gonna get into the school that I got into, and basically, like, trying to lower my expectations of the outcome of those 2 years. And when I got into the school, I proved them wrong. And then after that, when I was into the school, I even applied for my Georgia Tech double degree program. And when I got into that, I also proved them wrong because I went back to my class préparatoire, and I had this one teacher who believed in me to some extent, and like I just completely broke down because I just was so happy to say, okay, look at all these extractors that did not believe in me, and you believed in me, and thank you for that. And it was like just such a crazy moment because I believed in myself, and this teacher saw that there was, I mean, despite my results not showing it, he saw that there was something. And so it was just so satisfying to go back and like I did not even speak to these, like, I saw them, the teachers that did not believe in me. I did not, like, I could have gone and seen them when I went back to the school, but I did not actually make a point of it. Like, I just went and saw the teacher that I cared about, which who supported me, even indirectly, because and like, because it's not like an explicit support. He was just like, the way that he basically interacted with me was from a place of care, and like he was just, I guess, like a role model, and like someone that you know, like just helped me with whatever I was doing, and like helped me push my limits even when I pushed too far. So like he would have basically we would have one exam every week. And for the math, so this was my maths teacher for my second year there. And basically whenever I had the chance, so like basically he would have two exams, one slightly easier from a slightly easier uh, from a slightly easier concours, entrance exam, and one from a really hard one. And I would always pick the hard one. And there was this one exam where I picked the hard one, and like I barely did anything in that freaking exam. And like I think we had 3 hours or whatever to do it. And like in that freaking exam, I think I answered the first question with like basically the exams, like they're, I don't know, 20 questions long. But the only thing I did in that whole freaking exam, I think I answered like one or two questions. And like they're very basic questions, but expressed in a more complex way. And he could have given me like something on close to 0 out of 20, because we are graded out of 20 in France. And like he ended up giving me like an 8, but I knew that I did not deserve an 8, but I think he did it just to I'm getting emotional because it meant so much to me. But basically to not demotivate me, he gave me an 8 out of 20, which is like a good mark when you're I mean a good mark, it's an okay mark when you're when you're in those 2 years, because like it's generally the one of the two hardest years so far in my life. I mean, until I went to Georgia Tech, so those were the two hardest years of my life. And his support just meant so much. And when I went back, um, I told him, hey, I interviewed at X company and X company and X company, and those were things that I was dreaming of back when I was there, and nobody believed that I could get into the schools that I got into, and basically that I could get into the companies that I got into. So, and like I got the internships, and I got the schools, and I got the interviews with the prestigious tech companies and all of that stuff. And yeah, it just felt like such a moment when basically I did it against all odds. Like literally people thought I was crazy. I mean, I did not make it explicit to them that that's what I aspired to do, but I did it to some teachers, but they didn't believe in me, that didn't believe that I could do it, but I did. And so it was like a big moment for me. And the same for like when I was in Georgia Tech and I was trying to get internships at tech companies, and like for long, like I got a long list of rejections from all of the tech companies that I was interviewing at. And basically at some point I just accepted like a normal internship, and against all odds I got into the tech company that I'm in right now. And that also felt like basically the friends that I was around, they didn't believe in me, like the friends, because I mean they were not really my friends, they just were the people that I went to Georgia Tech with. I mean, a few of them, like we were friends, but I don't, like at least one person I was friends with a lot, but then our relationship was a bit weird because like lots of drama happened between us. But anyway, they didn't believe, like they were just like trying to prove that they were better, or like I don't think they really cared, to be honest. They just wanted to have fun or whatever. And even then, like I still made it, and I got in when no one believed that I would get in, or like they didn't want me to. And that was also a Hail Mary moment for me, where I was motivated by like basically proving to people against all odds that I can do it. And so I think that's really a pattern in my life, is that whenever something seems impossible, I'm like, come on, sign me up. I will do it. I can do it. And it's when I get really excited and I start really putting in the work, uh, and just um, just giving it my all. And so that really, really, really resonated with me. And I think that's a trait that I need to tap into even more, especially with these 10x goals that I've decided now to set every quarter. I will set a 10x goal for myself, and I will do everything in my power to execute on that 10x goal. And these 10x goals don't have to be in the same areas of my life. Like sometimes it's okay to be at a maintenance level. And so right now, my 10x goal is related to work. Next quarter, it will be related to something else, maybe reading, maybe the YouTube channel. I will decide when this quarter ends. But I think that's the way to tap into my true potential, is just to have this idea of succeeding against all odds. So yeah, that was like genuinely one of the most helpful episodes that I've listened to in a while, and it really resonated. I'm super glad to have this other role model that I did not know existed. So I'm gonna go listen to her book and try and find as many podcasts as possible to listen from her. So basically, I will do that, and like I really love it when I find a female role model that I think is amazing. Like her, I did not even know she existed, and now I know about her book, and so I'm just gonna go read it. And I love having, like, because lots of these things, lots of the books that I find about entrepreneurship and stuff like this are about men, which is a bit sad for me. I mean, I still learn from them, but they don't, like, their target audience is not me. I learn from them nonetheless, but it's cool to learn from someone, like basically to have a role model in this entrepreneur. And it's like I'm so happy that I listened to this podcast episode today, because now I have another role model to look up to, who did this as a woman, and who did this as a woman who's not, like, basically I'm not the most feminine woman, and basically I don't like to follow societal rules very much. I try to make up my own rules based on what I like, and based on my experiences of what works and what does not work, and I try to disregard any societal rules that do not serve me. I mean, not serve me in a self-serving way, but in a sense that were designed from not for someone who's like me, and basically just take things with a grain of salt, and have my own perspective on things, and have my own opinion on things based on my various experiences in life. Of course, I'm not gonna always get it right. I mean, there's, like, it's not always get it right. It's like, for sure I'm not gonna ever get it right a lot of the time, and that's completely okay. So it's like super helpful to have role models like her. Her name is Jodie Cook. So yeah, I was super excited about this one. Honestly, like it really had a good impact on me. And I think I think the point that I was trying to make a bit earlier, like 3 minutes early, no, 2 minutes earlier, is that basically I'm not the most feminine girl, and like basically lots of the successful women, like, they tend to be, like, right now, they tend to be in maybe an extreme of what it means to be a woman. So I don't relate very much to for example, the Kardashians and like the Jenners and things like this, because I'm just so different than them. And basically they're successful, right? But like, I don't relate to them much because I'm very, very different from them. And in that sense, I relate more to lots of the business men, because, I mean, I, like, just in terms of how I lead my life, it's more based on those things. And so when I do find a woman that's not, whose life is not, basically is not built from the perspective of what a woman should traditionally be, I get super excited, because it really resonates with me, and it just really hits home. And I'm super grateful for this episode. So thanks, Ali Abdal, for having such amazing hosts on your podcast, and thanks, Jodie Cook, for you know, for all of the uh, like, I mean, for existing. I don't know how that. uh, yeah, and for the inspiration that this conversation has brought me today. So super grateful. This was a long one, but I think today also was a long day. But it was a fun day because it was like it's those days when you work hard, and it's like a good kind of hard, and like you're in flow and you're having interesting conversations. Like today I had so many interesting conversations because I went to the office and hanged out with some of my colleagues. And also my sister got some my family just booked the venue for my sister's wedding, and so we have the date, and like just lots of good stuff that happened today that I'm super grateful for. And yeah, it was just like one of those days that I wish I could have more often. Like just feeling productive, feeling that I've done something productive in terms of my work, having meaningful connections with people, having interesting conversations. I've had quite a ton of those today, having some fun joking around because we joked around with my colleagues, we had dinner and like just joked around, and there was some playfulness to it, and that was fun. Um, and yeah, also this podcast episode that was super inspiring. So yeah, just today was an A+ day. Super grateful for it, and just wanted to share that good energy here. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for today. I'm just gonna go to sleep because tomorrow I need to wake up and work again and like get those things that I wanted to get done for tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. It's gonna be fun. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, so the one right before this one, and you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. I hope you have a fantastic rest of day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.